What is up, beautiful people? My name is Sean. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If you're new here, stick around. I'd love to share some content with you guys. If you don't know, I'm a videographer and a creative and marketing professional in Southern California, and this is everything that's in my camera bag for the 2022 year. Let's get into it. First and foremost, let's start with the case itself. This is not a Pelican. This was from Harbor Freight at, I think, 85 bucks, which is close to half, if not less than half of what a Pelican costs. It's the same foam dimensions internally. I wouldn't say it's probably as secure, but it's really, really good and dirt cheap. If you're looking at Pelicans, at least consider stopping by a Harbor Freight and checking one of these out. I love this case, and I have mine branded because we have a Cricket, and why the hell not? This is an A7 III and a 50mm. I have a 24-70 Sony G Master mounted to an A7S III. Of course, when you're using two cameras, one thing that can get a little bit wonky is color correction. This is an X-Rite Passport color checker. I love this thing, super compact and easy. I just throw it at the top of my Pelican and I'm good to go. Technically right now I'm hardwired in my camera because it's just easier, but I do have a wireless DD set with one receiver and two transmitters. It's the Connect set. It's a great set. It was a great gift from a friend of mine. Super stoked I have that, and I intend to use it in some interview shoots in the future. Right next to that is a phone mount. You'd be surprised how often I use this for like a second or third shot, depending on what camera I have in my bag. The A7 III doesn't always go with me. This is great for just those run and gun things. Or maybe I want to take a family photo, but I don't want to have to drag out the whole rig because it's in my case. This is usually in my backpack, if that's the case. Ha, the case. This has a Supreme battery pack. This was a gift, and I kept it because I like to keep things charged. It has a lightning cable with it, which is perfect for my iPhone, as well as it's just, I don't know, it's kind of cool. It's a cool color. I'm not a Supreme guy, but it's rad. I support the brand. It's cool. On the note of battery banks and power, I have 4 batteries for the A7 III and the A7S III, as well as 3 batteries for the Shinobi monitor that I have. I try to keep them fully charged, but I'm really terrible at keeping my batteries charged. I think I need to build a charge wall. I really like the one that Becky and Chris did, so I'm probably gonna do one of those here in the future. That leads pretty well into this bad boy. This is the Atomos Shinobi that I'm currently recording my face on. I have a 10-foot HDMI cable. It's a great monitor. I love it. It's 4K. It's the only thing that I would recommend someone getting if they weren't gonna get a Ninja 5 or one of the big small HDs with their wireless receiver system. It's a great, great monitor. Super inexpensive, 300 bucks for a 4K monitor with all of the bells and whistles you want, like false color. I love that monitor. It is pristine. This is part of my rig build out. I've got 2 small rig handles, one for the top that I mount my monitor to most times, and then one from the side. I just like the extra stability of having a handle on both the left and right side, the right side being the one that's built into the camera. Speaking of small rig, this is the best thing that I've ever seen ever. I love this. It is a multi-tool made by Small Rig that has almost every single size that you need for them. The only thing that it doesn't have is these small mounting screws for the back of the Small Rig cages. I have a cage on both cameras, and for some reason that's not on here, so I do have to keep the included key with it, but most things I'm using for this, including like taking off a plate or something like that. This tool's perfect for that. Now I know most YouTubers will use like a Gorilla Pod or that weird thing that was magnetic and came around and was all metal. I dug that, but I use the tripod that came with my Ronin RSC2 gimbal. It screws right into the bottom of my Small Rig cage, which is great, and I just hold that up. It works perfectly for me. One of these days I might upgrade, but I don't do enough vlogging for that to make sense. That leads pretty well into this behemoth of a thing. The only thing that's actually heavier than the camera body is the Ronin RSC2. I love this gimbal. It's super useful. I'm still new to gimbals, so I've been trying to learn a lot and take these on as many shoots as I can. We filmed dinner here, me and my fiance, and this is what we use to do it all. Super versatile, love this. Also have the Raven Eye system, so yeah, just super stoked on this. I've used it a few times, but I'm gonna use it a lot more in the coming months. I shoot in 4K almost exclusively because I have that option to. I'm very fortunate in that way. I have a few 1080 slow-mo clips from the A7 III, but most of what I do is 4K, which means I need a lot of storage. These are SanDisk Extreme Pros. They're super compact. They literally are probably the size of my wallet, maybe a little bit bigger. They just slip into my camera. They're super fast, incredibly efficient. I have a 1 terabyte and a 4 terabyte. Could not recommend SanDisk enough. And then one thing that I can't show you is literally above my head. It's a Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. I love that microphone. It is pretty solid. I think one of these days I want to get into the Sennheiser realm, but those are 3 times the cost, and I think this does a pretty solid job. I also like having this on location when I'm shooting for clients. Pretty stoked on this mic. I think that's all that's in my core bag, but there are a few things that go in my backpack that I think are incredibly important, honorable mentions if you will. First and foremost is these bad boys. These are the Sony XM4 headphones. They are incredibly good. They sound perfect. They're not super expensive, AirPods Max, and they're just great headphones. So really recommend these. I also can't show this to you, but I did do a top-down shot of it. It's a 5-in-1 from Impact. I got this on sale for 22 bucks. Thank you, B&H Photo. That was great. I also had a newer, I don't know. I had one of those and I returned that one just because it was more expensive than the $22 I bought this one from B&H at. I really dig this 5-in-1, but I mean, aren't all 5-in-1s basically the same? I think we can all agree that video editing or photography or anything in design really aren't possible without a good computer. And I'm very blessed to have a 14-inch M1 Max decked out MacBook Pro. The only thing I don't have capped out is storage, and that's because I use externals. That was probably a bad choice, but I made that choice nonetheless. It is a great laptop, really expensive though, and I don't think you need it. I think it's really easy to get caught up in the YouTuber thing of, I need that expensive tool. You really don't when it comes to computers. There are tons of incredible tools out there that are not so expensive. The M1 is still an incredible machine at literally a third of the cost. I don't regret my purchase, but I bought that because I want to have it for 10 years, not because I think it's something I needed. And while this may not technically always be in my camera bag, you can pretty much bet that I'm always going to have an ice cold refreshing Diet Coke. And so here's to you. I hope this video was in some way helpful to you. I would love for you to get subscribed, maybe like the video down below for more content around videography and creative and all that fun stuff. And I will see you in the next video. Toodles!